Welcome back to the channel, and get ready for a chilling ride into the darkest corners of reality. Tonight, we delve into the terrifying unknown, exploring 3 real-life blackout horrors that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. These are stories of ordinary people plunged into extraordinary darkness, where fear takes hold, and every shadow could conceal an unspeakable threat. Remember, every word you're about to hear is based on true events, accounts from those who stared into the abyss and lived to tell the tale. So dim the lights, lock your doors, and prepare yourself, because tonight we confront the chilling reality that when the lights go out, the nightmares begin. And as always, every piece of content used in this video falls under fair use guidelines, ensuring you can focus on the fear without distraction. Now let's descend into the darkness. Picture this: a peaceful evening at home, the gentle hum of appliances fading into the background as the world outside your windows darkens. You're settling in for the night, a sense of comfort enveloping you. Then, without warning, everything goes black. The familiar lights flicker and die, plunging your world into an unexpected abyss. It starts innocently enough. You exchange confused glances with your partner, a shared moment of, "Did that just happen?" before the initial shock gives way to a need for answers.
I'll go check it out. Maybe it's just a neighborhood-wide outage.
Your partner, always the proactive one, decides to investigate, stepping outside to see if it's a neighborhood-wide outage or just your home plunged into darkness. Unbeknownst to them, and more importantly, unbeknownst to you, this seemingly routine power outage has attracted an insidious presence, lurking just beyond the edges of the darkness. Malicious eyes watch as your partner's silhouette disappears from the doorway, their attention now laser-focused on the darkened house and the unsuspecting soul within. You're left alone, the silence amplifying every creak of the house, every rustle of leaves outside. Minutes pass, stretching into an eternity as you wait for your partner's return, a knot of unease tightening in your stomach. That's when you hear it, a subtle sound, out of place in the quiet stillness. It's a soft thud, followed by the distinct squeak of your back door slowly creaking open. Suddenly, the reality of the situation hits you with the force of a physical blow. Someone is inside your home. Fear, primal and immediate, floods your senses. You're trapped, alone in the darkness with an unknown intruder. Your mind races, desperately searching for an escape, a solution, anything to break free from this nightmare unfolding around you. Instinct takes over. You scramble for cover, adrenaline coursing through your veins. Your heart pounds against your ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the suffocating silence. The intruders, emboldened by the darkness and the apparent emptiness of the house, move with chilling confidence. You hear their muffled voices, their footsteps heavy and deliberate as they begin to ransack your belongings. You're trapped in your hiding place, every fiber of your being screaming at you to run, to fight, to do anything but lie there in silent terror. But you know that remaining hidden is your only option. You hold your breath, desperately trying to silence the fear that threatens to consume you. Every creak of the floorboards, every crash of displaced items sends a fresh wave of terror washing over you. Then, just when you think the nightmare couldn't get any worse, you hear your partner's voice, closer now, calling out your name. They're back, oblivious to the danger lurking within the very walls meant to protect you.
Hey, are you okay? What's going on?
You have to warn them, but any sound you make could alert the intruders to your presence. Imagine yourself living in your parents' basement, a familiar space transformed into your own personal haven. The hum of the water heater, the musty scent of old boxes, the gentle flicker of the single bare bulb. These are the comforting constants of your subterranean world. But on this particular night, the comforting familiarity morphs into something sinister, the darkness outside a harbinger of the terror about to unfold. A violent storm rages above, the wind howling like a banshee, rain lashing against the basement windows. You're home alone, the storm only amplifying the sense of isolation. The power flickers, plunging you into momentary darkness before sputtering back to life. You try to ignore the growing unease in the pit of your stomach, telling yourself it's just the storm, just the wind rattling the windows. But deep down, a primal instinct whispers a warning. The hair on the back of your neck stands on end. You feel a presence, unseen but palpable, pressing in from the darkness beyond your basement windows. You try to shake it off, but the feeling persists, growing stronger with every gust of wind, every flash of lightning. Then you hear it, a soft scratching sound coming from the far end of the basement, near the small, grime-covered window that serves as your only source of natural light. It's a sound easily dismissed, a branch scraping against the house, a stray animal seeking shelter from the storm. But something about it sets your teeth on edge. It's too deliberate, too rhythmic. This is no accidental noise. Heart pounding in your chest, you slowly approach the window, your every sense on high alert.
Who's there?
The scratching stops. You hold your breath, listening intently, but there's nothing but the roar of the wind and the incessant drumming of rain. You tell yourself it was nothing, just your imagination playing tricks on you, fueled by the storm and the isolation. You're about to turn away when you see it, a face, pressed against the window, staring in at you. Two eyes, wide and wild, glint in the darkness, reflecting the intermittent flashes of lightning. A scream catches in your throat, your blood turning to ice in your veins. This is no figment of your imagination, this is real, and it's terrifying. The face disappears, and for a horrifying moment, you're frozen in place, paralyzed by fear. Then the sound of splintering wood shatters the silence. The intruders, for there are more than one, are breaking in. Panic floods your senses. You're trapped, hunted in your own home. Your mind races, desperately seeking an escape route. The basement door, your only way out, is blocked by the intruders. You're trapped in this subterranean nightmare, the darkness closing in around you like a suffocating blanket. But amidst the terror, a glimmer of hope. The impact of the intruders' forced entry has shattered the small basement window, leaving a jagged opening, just large enough for you to squeeze through. It's a desperate gamble, a leap of faith into the storm-ravaged night, but it's your only chance. You scramble towards the window, shards of glass crunching under your feet. Adrenaline surges through your veins, masking the pain of cuts and scrapes. You hear the intruders closing in, their heavy footsteps and angry shouts echoing in the confined space.
Get him!
Heaving yourself up, you force your body through the narrow opening, ignoring the searing pain of glass tearing at your skin. You tumble onto the muddy ground outside, gasping for breath, your heart pounding against your ribs like a war drum. Chapter 3.
The warehouse stood on the outskirts of town, a hulking silhouette against the backdrop of a moonless night. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of dust and forgotten things, the silence broken only by the hum of fluorescent lights overhead. I was working the late shift, the monotony of my task a poor substitute for companionship.
You paced the long, dimly lit aisles, your footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. It was a night like any other, or so you thought. Then, without warning, the lights flickered and died, plunging the warehouse into an impenetrable darkness.
The sudden silence was deafening, the air thick with the metallic tang of fear. I froze, my heart pounding against my ribs. The darkness was absolute, swallowing even the faintest glimmer of moonlight filtering in through the grimy skylights. I fumbled for my phone, the pale glow of the screen a beacon in the overwhelming darkness.
But before you could activate the flashlight, a sound sent a shiver down your spine. It was a soft thud, followed by the distinct sound of footsteps. Someone else was in the warehouse with you.
I held my breath, listening intently, my senses on high alert. The footsteps were slow, deliberate, echoing ominously in the vast emptiness. They were getting closer. Fear coiled in the pit of my stomach, cold and constricting. I knew I had to get out of there, and fast. But which way?
The layout of the warehouse was a labyrinthine maze in the daylight. Now, shrouded in darkness, it felt like a death trap. You moved cautiously, your arms outstretched, your phone held out like a talisman against the encroaching darkness. Each step was fraught with uncertainty, the silence punctuated by the terrifying rhythm of the approaching footsteps.
I stumbled over a stray box, the sudden noise echoing like a gunshot in the stillness. The footsteps stopped. I froze, my blood turning to ice in my veins. For a heart-stopping moment, there was nothing but the sound of my own ragged breathing. Then the footsteps resumed, closer now, more determined. I was being hunted.
You picked up the pace, your heart pounding against your ribs, your lungs burning with exertion. You rounded a corner, your phone illuminating a row of towering shelves, their contents shrouded in shadow, and that's when you saw them.
Two figures, silhouetted against the faint glow of the emergency exit at the far end of the aisle. They were tall and imposing, their faces hidden behind ski masks. One held a crowbar, its metallic glint sending a shiver down my spine. They had seen me.
There was no time to think, no time to process the sheer terror that threatened to consume you. You turned and ran, your only thought to put as much distance between you and those menacing figures as possible. You could hear them behind you now, their footsteps heavy and relentless, their muffled voices echoing in the vast space.
I weaved through the aisles, my phone bouncing erratically, casting grotesque shadows that danced and twisted along the walls. I could hear them gaining on me, their heavy breathing a terrifying counterpoint to the frantic pounding of my own heart. I had to find a way out, had to escape this nightmare, the emergency exit.
Thank you for braving the darkness with us tonight. We've explored the terrifying reality of blackout horrors, those chilling moments when the familiar transforms into the unknown and every shadow seems to hold a threat. But remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the potential dangers and listening to your instincts, you can better equip yourself to face the unexpected. So be vigilant, be prepared, and never underestimate the power of darkness to amplify our deepest fears. If you enjoyed this descent into the darkness, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. And as always, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these terrifying tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more spine-chilling stories. Stay safe, and remember to always be prepared for the unexpected.